Hello and welcome back to Storytime with Ranger Nathan. My name is, of course, Ranger Nathan, and I'm a park ranger at Rosie the Riveter, World War II Homefront National Historical Park. Today we are going to be reading Chapter 6 of V for Victory, a part of the Homefront Heroes book series written by Teresa Funk. We have her permission to read Chapter 6 today. In Chapter 5, just a quick recap, we had Miguel getting to know Alfonso a little bit better and going on a drive with him. He also had a run-in with Tug Wagner, who thinks he can win the scrap drive competition with the old furnace that he is getting. And we ended Chapter 5 with Miguel having an idea that he has not explained to his friends yet. Chapter 6, Mr. Garza's Jalopy. The next day, I ring up Gary, but he can't come by today. His mother is taking him to visit his grandmother. But you gotta tell me first, he says. What's your big plan? You'll see when you get back, but it's better than a furnace. Better than a fence, even. Tell me. No, I laugh. Come by when you get back. I'll show you. Gary groans and hangs up on me. I finish my breakfast, eager to get started on my plan, but Rosa stops me in the doorway. Miguel, I need you to watch Victor for a while. I have to go out. Can I watch him when I get back? I got something important to do. Important, she says. I recognize that tone. She doesn't believe me. They never do. Well, you can take him along with you then. Take the buggy if you want. Oh, that's just what I need, for Tug Wagner to see me pushing a baby carriage around. No thanks, I'll carry him, I say, stomping over to where Victor is whacking two spoons together. I yank the spoons from his hand. He does that loud squawk that nearly breaks your eardrums. I snatch him up, and he does his best to wiggle loose. But when he sees we're going outside, he settles down. Out, he says in his baby voice. He's talking more now. Yeah, out, I say, boosting him up as I head down the alley toward Mr. Garza's house. Mr. Garza is an old man, so old that most of his teeth are gone. He's lived by himself since his wife died. He's always outside, sitting in a frayed wicker chair beneath an oak tree, watching his yard. The street that runs in front of his house is pretty quiet, and there's a vacant lot opposite, so that's where us boys set up our baseball games some evenings. Mr. Garza always scoots his chair closer to the curb, just daring us to chase a ball into his yard. You could say Mr. Garza doesn't like kids much, but he's about my only hope. Hello, Mr. Garza, I say to him. I know Mr. Garza can speak English well, but he might prefer Spanish, so I try that. I'm trying to get on his good side. He leans forward in the chair and squints at me. Stop right there, he says, and I wait on the sidewalk at the edge of his yard. Lucky, he calls. Come and see what this boy wants. A colored kid runs around the house. I recognize him. He's come into the store several times. He's called my mother boss lady, and she thinks he's cute. He's about my age, but he doesn't go to my school. The colored kids have their own schools. What you want, Lucky says. You work here? My mama works here. She takes care of Mr. Garza. I'm just helping out. I glance at the old man, who has placed both hands on the arms of his chair, ready to push himself up if he has to. What you want? Lucky asks again. Well, it's like this, see, there's a scrap metal drive down at the theater. It's for the war effort, you know. And I was wondering if Mr. Garza would let me take out his old jalopy. You want his car? Lucky laughs. What's he saying, boy? Mr. Garza shouts. Just a minute, sir, Lucky answers. You want his car? Well, he can't use it. It's a broken down piece of junk. Doesn't even have tires anymore. It's just sitting up on blocks. Besides, he's too old to drive anyway. Lucky laughs again. Don't none of that matter. He ain't going to give you his jalopy. I take another look at Mr. Garza. He's lifting himself up, ready to come over. Lucky's right. He'll never give me that car, and Victor's getting heavy. I lower him to the ground and hold his hand tight. That your brother? Lucky asks. My nephew. My brother's in the war. Mine too. Really? Sure. You've never heard of the Buffalo Soldiers? The colored unit? Been around since the Civil War? Well, yeah, just didn't think any of them was from around here. Victor's tugging on my hand now. Go, go, he's saying. I let him lead me back down the street. Lucky follows. You want scrap? I know we could get some. Where? Near my house. I'll have to show you. Why give it to me? Why don't you turn it in yourself? Lucky laughs again. Something tells me that the theater owner don't want colored kids winning his contest. I'll get the scrap for a cut of the dough. I'll give you the scrap for a cut of the dough. I don't know, I say. I'm already splitting it with my friend. If we want to cut you in, there won't be much left for us. It won't take much, Lucky says. Just $2 of those dollars would do me for now. $2 to Lucky would still leave 9 for me and 9 for Gary. How do I know you got anything good? I'll show you. You gotta come to my neighborhood, though. How far is your house? Not far, about a 10-minute walk. That's too far to carry Victor, but if this Lucky does have something, it might be worth going. Okay, I say, meet me in front of the store in 5 minutes. I gotta get the buggy for Victor. You might want to change him while you're at it. Looks like he could use it. I pick up Victor, and sure enough, he's soaked through his diaper. His bottom is wet on my arm. I hate that feeling. I'm hoping Abuelita hasn't lain down for her siesta, otherwise I'll have to change him myself, and I haven't yet mastered how to hold him down and work the diaper pins at the same time. Abuelita's not sleeping, but she's not home either. She's probably at the church. She goes there every day to pray a rosary for Ernesto. Okay, kid, I say, you can make this hard or you can make this easy. Victor makes it hard. By the time I change the baby's diaper and pants and fetch the buggy from the back porch, Lucky is already waiting for me at the front of the store. Where are you going? Mama calls to me. Just taking Victor for a walk. Come back soon. It's almost time for lunch. I have to tell Lucky a couple times to slow down. The buggy has bad wheels and it wobbles, and Victor keeps trying to climb over the side as we walk. Where are you going? I ask. To your house? Lucky laughs again. Now what you think I got at my house? Nothing, that's what. Then where are you taking me? I ask, noticing that most of the faces I'm passing on the street are black. Well, you're coming up on Mr. Garza the way got me thinking there's an old woman lives down the street from me. She's got a rusty old push lawnmower sitting out back, but her yard's gone to weed. Seems to me she's got no use for that mower. Is she like Mr. Garza? Will she let you have it? Don't know, but my mama says it never hurts to ask. When we reach the old woman's house, Lucky holds out his hand to stop me. You stay here. She was born back in the slavery days, and she sees a white boy on her property. She's going to expect trouble. Lucky hops up the woman's front steps. Victor is leaning out of the carriage, gripping the tops of his picket fence. He's pulling so hard the whole fence is shaking. I have to wrestle his hands free, and by that time, Lucky has disappeared inside the house. I wait for several minutes, pushing the buggy up and down the street to keep Victor from climbing out. People are staring at me as they pass, and I wonder now why I had to come along. Why didn't I just send Lucky to get the mower and bring it back? Just about then, he comes around the back of her house, pushing the mower as fast as he can. Let's go, he says, before she changes her mind. He's trotting ahead of me with the mower, which is squeaking and squealing, and I'm trying to keep up, while the wobbly buggy wheel shudders. We're both laughing as we cut down the alley on the way back to the store so fewer people see us. Out back of the house, we stop. What did she say? I asked. I told her your father has a block warden, and he sent us round to find scrap for the war effort. When she looked out the window and saw you was white, she thought she better go along. That's why you took me? Yeah, the benefits of being white. Strange to hear you say that. Plenty of Anglos don't think Mexicans are any better than coloreds. I'm thinking of the signs you sometimes see on restaurant windows in the small towns near San Antonio, the ones that say no Mexicans allowed. Lucky glances up at the back of my house. Sure looks like you got it better to me, he says. Funny, all my life my family has struggled. So many mouths to feed, so much work to do. We've pinched pennies everywhere we could, like this stupid haircut of mine. I never thought of us having much, but now I look at our house and see what Lucky sees. A sturdy two-story, with a fresh coat of paint, a car parked out back, a busy store up front, and I realize it must look like a lot to him. What you going to do with your $2? I asked. Teacher says if I'm going to go do better in school this year, I got to get me some glasses, but Mama needs a bit more to pay for them. I told her I could quit school, get a job, and she's not having any of that. So I got to finish, through 8th grade at least. What you thinking about spending your money on? Haven't made my mind up yet, I say. Lucky goes to lean the mower against the house. No, wait, I say. We can't put it there. One of the Wagner boys might snatch it. Where then? I look around. My eyes settle on the Mueller house 3 doors down. It's boarded up now. As soon as their son's enlisted, the Muellers moved to North Texas to run his shoe store while he's at war. They've got a tall wooden fence around the property. I reach over the top of the gate and unlatch it, letting us in. We put the mower there, and then I go back to the house to bring over the rest of the stuff that Gary and I have been piling on the back porch. Abuelita hasn't liked stepping around it anyway. Pretty good stash, Lucky says. Think you'll win now? Nah, I could though if we can get my hands on one thing I've been wanting. Mr. Garza's jalopy? No, I say, you're right. He's never going to give that up. Something else. Hope you get it, Lucky says. Sure could use that money. Then find me something else, I say. If you do, bring it here. You can just unlatch the gate. Lucky laughs. Don't think folks would Cotton, too, a colored boy sneaking onto some other people's property. I'll bring it to you. You can put it back here. Yeah, right, I say. I like this kid, but the black kids mostly stick to their own. I reach for Victor, but he starts to run. It takes me a minute to chase him down. I pull him by the sleeve toward the house. I can hear Lucky chuckling as he goes. That is the end of chapter 6. Join us again soon for chapter 7.